Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by PewSitter.com, your online Catholic newspaper for the third millennium, CatholicMediaCoalition.org, in line with the Church, online with the world.
And TheAmericanCatholic.com, politics and culture from a Catholic perspective.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of Catholic News Roundup. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Persecution predicted. The Obama administration's term in office is vivifying predictions of a full-on persecution of the Roman Catholic Church in America, causing one of the Church's highest-ranking officials to warn America's bishops of the impending danger. Cardinal Raymond Burke, prefect of the Supreme Tribunal of the Apostolic Signatura, told bishops in a meeting over the weekend, quote, "It is a war, and critical at this time that Christians stand up for the natural moral law," warning that if they did not, that, quote, "secularization will in fact predominate and will destroy us," end quote. The Catholic League cites examples supporting Burke, mentioning so-called gay marriage in New York, pass without conscience exemptions for Christian clerks, the recent denial of Catholic charities to function in Illinois without consenting to be forced to allow homosexual adoptions, and the full court press of Obamacare to force the inclusion of contraception and sterilization in everyone's insurance plans. It is feared that we are quickly moving from the, quote, freedom of religion to, quote, freedom of worship, diminishing the Catholic Church's ability to proclaim the gospel and reduce her footprint in public life. Refreshing relations. Strained relations between Ireland and the Vatican may be eased as Pope Benedict names Monsignor Charles Brown the new Apostolic Nuncio to the Emerald Isle. The Catholic News Agency says Monsignor Brown has been a member of the Congregation of the Doctrine of the Faith since 1994, where he worked closely with Cardinal Ratzinger, who is obviously now the Supreme Pontiff of the Church. Archbishop Timothy Dolan of New York calls Brown a, quote, young, vibrant, very theologically savvy, but pastorally sensitive guy, end quote, who has degrees in history from Notre Dame, theology from Oxford, medieval studies from Toronto, and finally a doctorate in sacramental theology from the Pontifical University of St. Anselm in Rome. Brown is well loved in the Roman Curia as a, quote, good and holy man. Sins of omission. Notre Dame, a Catholic college, doesn't seem to be too concerned that its internet network is providing pornography in large quantities to students on campus. According to the Cardinal Newman Society, an independent student paper dedicated to preserving the faith on campus called the Irish Rover, Notre Dame, quote, simply hopes the students won't look at it, end quote. After Notre Dame alumni heard about the issue, their publication, the Sycamore Trust, followed up on the Rover's written piece, informing the university that it could be construed as making a statement by not blocking porn. Consequently, that even if censoring cyberspace couldn't block students from porn completely, it could at least reduce their consumption of it. A university spokesperson answered the query by repeating the same thing. It depends upon the students simply not to look. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a few seconds.
Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by NewOxfordReview.org, the voice of Catholic Orthodoxy, in print and on the web, and RenewAmerica.com, expanding the influence of America's grassroots in the cause of freedom.
False force. No price is apparently too great for the American Air Force to accommodate every religion at its academy in Colorado Springs, especially since they just spent $80,000 building a worship center for all 3 pagan cadets at the school. According to the Church Report website, that's 3 out of 4,300 cadets training to be officers. The center, which is being called the Cadet Chapel Falcon Circle, is built for, quote, earth-based faiths, which include witches, druids, pagans, Wiccans, and followers of Native American beliefs. Tempting Tebow. Though critics are calling for football sensation Tim Tebow, the young quarterback for the Denver Broncos, to tone down his repeated and frequent expressions of Christian faith, he adamantly says he will not acquiesce. Tebow responded to complaints from former Broncos quarterback Jake Plummer by asking, quote, if you're married and you have a wife and you really love your wife, is it good enough to only say to your wife, I love her the day you get married, or should you tell her every single day when you wake up and at every opportunity, end quote. He says that even though he respects Jake Plummer, he will praise God at any opportunity because Tebow says he is due for it. Papal traffic perp? The Pope is being prosecuted for breaking the law in Germany because he didn't wear his seatbelt in the Pope-mobile. According to the local news service's website, John Christian Sunderman, lawyer and ex-Catholic member of the Socialist Left Party, is bringing suit to the German-born Pope after several other lawyers rejected the case. The article points out that though Benedict XVI could face a fine between 30 and 2,500 euro, if the Pope enjoys diplomatic immunity, not even a miracle will help his case. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Thanks for tuning in today. Be sure and tune in tomorrow for your daily dose of Catholic News Roundup right here on RealCatholicTV.com. And be sure to check out The Vortex today, where Michael talks about the baby steps being taken to right 5 decades of liturgical wrongs. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to tell all your friends about us. And as always, God bless.